But I have the great pleasure of introducing the opening session and the welcoming. The first two people are amazing in terms of their history. I hope that their bios are in the bios that you've received. They have made extraordinary efforts on behalf of the health and human rights of their peoples in national and international fora for the past 3 decades, which gives testament to their prowess as leaders. First, we'll be welcomed by Chief Conrad Siwi, hereditary chief of the Bear Clan of the Huron-Wendat and Grand Chief of the Council of his nation, upon whose traditional territory we meet. This will be followed by Grand Chief Matthew Cooncombe of the Grand Council of the Crees of Quebec and Labrador. Grand Chief Matthew Cooncombe has received national and international honors for his work on the Indigenous people's human rights. Then we'll be followed by a message from Naoto Kan, Prime Minister of Japan at the time of the Fukushima disaster.
Thank you, Dale and Eric. Kwekwe awiti, kwe ni atakwa, sondarienta, andisha, tutaye. I'd like to also recognize the presence of Grand Chief Cooncombe, as you said, and delegates, participants, people who decided to make the trip to Quebec City and to come to our land, our traditional territory that we call Neo-Seal. You find yourself here in the oldest part of what history has brought to understand as the foundation of North America. My community is called Wendake. It's the oldest Indian reserve in North America. We were the ones who welcomed Jacques Cartier when he arrived on these shores, on the peninsula. We brought him here, right here. We used to have a beautiful place called Stadacone. And I don't want to make a long story, but this first encounter did not give any good result, Our Grand Chief, Donnacona, was kidnapped with 7 other people of our nation, of the Huron-Wendat nation, and brought overseas to never come back. And then we started to think of, why did it fail, Why this gathering that was supposed to be beneficial, European mentality, individual mind, could not meet with the circular, spirit of the Nakana, But then we realized that Jacques Cartier could not understand the Nakana, could not understand that you don't master the environment, that you're part of it. You don't only you don't only put on earth just to go and grab and take from Mother Earth. You have to live with Mother Earth. You have to care, because we live on the back of the turtle. That's our name, We call ourselves Wendat. It means the islanders, the ones who live on the island. History has said that we made a long journey up from the first turtle down there. And when the second turtle, which is North America, appeared from the Ice Age, we came and we made the long journey up to inhabit this new turtle. And that's why, we've been living on the Great Lakes area, Huron, Ontario, and Erie. And our river is the St. Lawrence, We've been traveling and paddling this country for time immemorial. And we gave to this country its name, Canada. Jacques Cartier was lost. He says, "Where are we?" And this is a true story. Yeah. You're in Canada here, Canada, where you will find many long houses, where you will find many cabins, together. And there might be a place for you also. But please, don't bring your old European kind of way of thinking. Adjust to here. Adjust to the circle. Adjust to the fact that we are matrilineal societies. We belong to our women. Our God is a woman. Her name is authentic. So don't try to break our spirits, our cultures, and to make us be becoming individual in scope. Let us feel that we are a community. Let us feel that we belong to the clan of our mothers. Let us feel that we should live in peace and harmony. Let us understand that we should all have a rightful place on earth. And please don't come and only take and grab from our territories, from our nations. Share what you have the best to share with us. And that's why the first treaty we made is called the Toro Wampum. And this is what guides all First Nations as of today. We go down our river in our canoe, and we are rich in culture, in everything. And the newcomer goes down the river in his own boat. And we're supposed to go side by side, in parallel capacities, respecting each other and share what we have best, so that life and the journey is going to be beautiful. We're going to share, we're going to help each other. Never to try to assimilate or integrate or disintegrate the other. So we believe that we have fulfilled our part of the treaty. And this is what we want to share also with the rest of the ones who are going to come here. And we believe also that the more it goes, the more we become, all of us, disregarding where we come from on earth, more indigenous. We understand that we are part of Mother Earth, that no one and nothing can dissociate us from Turtle Island, that we have to take a great need of her. She nourishes us. And that we have also to keep Canada strong, Canada powerful, Canada North. And why? Because first of all, the inhabitants of Canada North are mainly indigenous people. So when it's time to use Canada to fight and to claim sovereignty over the Arctic ice and so on, these politicians, they're going to use often our own people. But we should not only be used, we, among the Huron, one that nation, we have a philosophy who says that around the circle, we all have our rightful place on the circle. So I see you today as to belong to this circle, to belong to our nation, to belong to, the circular mind. And many of our people and elders say that the linear mind has come to an end, It's too violent, it's too aggressive, it's too individual, it's too colonial in scope, and we have to change that and come back to what America is, what indigenous people can bring the best of the world, which is to be part of the circle, to respect our mothers, to respect our sisters, to respect Mother Earth. And if we see that there's a threat, nuclear or any kind of threat to the environment, we stick together and we fight it together in peace, in good minds, in harmony, in order to preserve what is to be preserved, Mother Earth, for the next generations to come. Thank you. Have a good stay.
Naskum na Conrad. Gejot kami ubay tayo. Ang suggestion JG mi dugot book shaman JG which you get dan J they dan church wish bait me get. Naskum like that way. I just said a few words in my own language. As the chairperson said, we're bilingual. But I speak English and Cree, which is my language. It is an honor for me to participate in the opening of this gathering and to welcome you to Quebec City for this important and timely symposium. I would also like to thank the Huron-Wendat Nation, of course my good friend Grand Chief Conrad Siwi for welcoming us all to their territory in this meeting. Many of you have traveled from great distance to be here. The participants in this gathering come from over 20 countries and from 5 continents. It is an honor to have you with us. The fact that so many of you have traveled from near and from far is a testament to the importance of the subject matter of this conference. My name is Matthew Kunkam. I've been called other names, but I am presently the Grand Chief of the James Bay Cree Nation. My people's territory is known as Innu-Isti. It is located in northern Quebec. It comprises about 1/5 of the province. Our territory is rich in natural resources, including uranium. We are told that much of the uranium potential of Quebec is found in deposits located in our territory, which we call Innu-Isti. Since 2006, my people have been fighting against uranium development on our land. We have resolved to ensure that no uranium projects proceed on our territory. Uranium development. Thank you very much. So uranium development is an issue of great importance to the Cree Nation. As you know, this year marked the 70th anniversary of the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. For the first time, the world saw the brutally destructive capabilities of nuclear energy. This was the beginning of a new kind of threat and a new scale of danger. Sadly, this threat continues today, despite the end of the Cold War. And the truth is, the bombs that destroyed Hiroshima, Nagasaki would not have been possible without Canada's contribution of uranium. The uranium for the A bombs came from Port Uranium in the Northwest Territories. This uranium was taken from the land of the Saulteaux Dene people near Great Bear Lake and was refined in Ontario for the U.S. Army. In fact, in 1943, President Roosevelt and Prime Minister Churchill signed a secret agreement in which they vowed to work together to develop the A-bomb and agreed to never use it against each other. That secret agreement, which played a central part in ushering in the nuclear age, was signed right here in Quebec City. And so it's fitting that we come together again in Quebec City to reflect upon the lessons to be learned from the 7 decades since Churchill and Roosevelt signed the Quebec Agreement. As we all know, the nuclear cycle begins with uranium exploration and extraction. And it is this part of the cycle that has already directly affected my nation. My people were first confronted with the prospect of uranium development in 2006, when Stratico Resources, a mining company, began an intensive uranium exploration program on the family hunting grounds of the Cree Nation of Mistini, an 8-hour drive north of here. In 2008, Stratico announced its plans to undertake advanced exploration efforts at the Matoush site, located in the Otish Mountains at the crest of 2 major watersheds that bring water to Mistini and throughout our entire territory. Stratico applied to the Quebec government for the necessary permits. Confronted with the possibility of an eventual large-scale uranium mine and mill on Cree territory, the Cree Nation came together. We consulted experts in uranium, as well as experts in the land and traditional practices. It became clear to us that uranium mining and long-term tailing storage could have serious negative impacts on our health, the environment, the land, and the animals that we depend on. Ultimately, it was our communities who decided that they did not want this kind of development on our land. Cree leadership listened, and in 2012, the Grand Council of the Crees enacted a permanent moratorium on uranium exploration, extraction, and waste placement in Inuit. This was not an easy decision to us. We know that uranium mining could bring valuable employment opportunities and other economic benefits for our people. But uranium mining will also create unacceptable environmental burdens for the Cree Nation and for many generations to come. We could not support a form of development that is so completely incompatible with our values and way of life. And so we resolved to ensure that the Matous project did not go forward, that the uranium of Inuit remains in the ground. My people, and particularly the Cree youth, have educated themselves about the risks of uranium mining. We have insisted that our views be heard. We have worked with allies to spread the message. We have believed from the beginning that once Quebecers learn the true facts about uranium, they would stand with us. We have enjoyed some important successes, which I am proud to celebrate with you all this week. In 2013, the government of Quebec refused to grant the permit that Strataco required to proceed with the Matous project. The government also mandated the Bureau d'Audience Publique sur l'Environnement, also known as the BAP, Quebec's environmental watchdog, to undertake a review of the uranium industry and make recommendations to the government about the future of the uranium industry in Quebec. The BAB will deliver its report in the next few months. And most recently, Strataco announced that it was abandoning its legal challenge to the government's decision. The uranium at the Matous site will stay in the ground. These are successes that we must build upon in Quebec, in Canada, and more broadly. This is a pivotal year for uranium development. The world is at a crossroads. Nuclear energy currently generates 11% of the world's electricity. But disasters like Chernobyl and more recently Fukushima, I think so you pronounce it, has once again made the world question the benefits of this form of energy. The rising costs of maintenance of reactors, the deflated price of uranium, the ongoing safety concerns brought to light by events like Fukushima have led many countries to question the future of nuclear energy. These questions must be asked. The issues associated with uranium development are complex, require critical thought, and that is why we are here. Over the next 3 days, we will have the chance to listen to each other, learn from one another, and to exchange ideas and opinions about all the various aspects of uranium and its impacts. But this should not be merely an academic exercise. It should go far beyond that. The goal of this symposium is to make recommendations to ensure increased protection of health, safety, and the environment. I also hope that this symposium will enable us to build alliances and to work together to change and improve the nuclear policies of our respective countries and internationally. The Cree Nation has a long history of working with our allies, both Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal, to achieve our collective goals. Let's work together to do something important for future generations, and let this conference be the beginning. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. Miigwech.
Thank you so much for your wonderful words. I think this really adequately sets the tone for the beginning of the conference. Grand Chief Matthew Kuncombe and Grand Chief Conrad Siwi need to leave to go to other businesses today, but we may be seeing them off and on during the rest of the conference. Did you want to stay for the I think you better leave. Okay. Thank you so much for their presence and for their welcoming. And now we'll hear from Naoto Kan, the former Prime Minister of Japan, who has honored us by giving us his message.
皆さんこんにちは。私は2011年の3月11日の福島原発事故の時に日本の総理大臣を務めていました菅直人です。今日はこのカナダケベックで開かれるウラン国際会議に私のメッセージをお届けしたいということで話をさせていただきます。ご承知のように福島原発事故はこれまでの歴史で最も厳しいシビアアクシデントでした。そして残念ながら今日もまだ事故は終わっておりません。汚染水という形で多くの放射性物質が原子炉の外に出ております。実は私もこの 3.11 までは日本においてこのような厳しい原発事故を起こすことはないだろう、技術水準も高いので起こさないで済むだろうと考え、原発を活用するというそういう姿勢で総理を務めておりました。しかし実際に福島原発事故が起きてそれまでの私の考え方が全く間違っていたということがはっきりと分かりました。そこで私は自分の考え方を180度変えました。つまりこの福島原発事故は今でも10万人以上の方が避難を続けておられますけれども、もう一回り事故が拡大していたら首都東京を含む半径250キロ圏、この中には日本国民の 40% の5000万人が住んでおりますけれども、この人たちが逃げなければならなくなっていた。しかもそれは1週間とか10日ではなくて何十年という単位で逃げ出さなくてはならなくなっていた。そうすれば日本という国は長期にわたって、国として大混乱を続けたでありましょう。これほどの被害というのは大きな戦争に負けた時以外では考えられない事故であります。つまりはそういう大きな戦争にも匹敵するようなリスクがあることを知りながら、それでも原発を維持し続けるのか、それとも原発をやめて他のエネルギーに変えていくのか、それが今私たち地球に住む全ての人に問われていると思います。で、私は 3.11 を経験して原発に頼らない日本を作ることが日本にとっても重要だし、さらに言えば世界にとっても同じように世界の中で原発を使わないようにしていくことが世界にとって地球にとって重要だと考えております。それに加えて我が国でも原発事故が起きた後、フィードインタリフ固定価格買取制度を私が総理の時に導入いたしました。そしてこの4年間の間に太陽光を中心として再生可能エネルギー、自然エネルギーによる発電量が急激に増えております。現在7000万キロワットの太陽光を中心とした発電の申請が出ておりまして、これが全て完成すると15基分の原発に相当する電力がこの再生可能エネルギーで生み出されます。それと同時に現在日本では原発は1基も動いておりません。これは国民の7割が原発の再稼働に反対しているということが大きな歯止めになっております。つまりは原発を使わないでもこの1年半日本では国民の生活は混乱はしておりませんし、経済活動もそれによって停滞することはありません。ですから私としては、あるいは多くの人たちは原発をもうこのまま使わないで そしてできるだけ再生可能エネルギーを増やす方向に移していこうと。もちろんしばらくの間は石油や天然ガスを従来より少し多く使うことが必要な時期もありますけれども、私は5年先10年先には原発に対応する電力は全て再生可能エネルギーで生み出すことは可能であり、さらに将来は化石燃料も使わないでも再生可能エネルギーで電力を起こすことは可能だと、このように思っております。またウラン鉱山について私も昨年オーストラリアのウラン鉱山をいくつか見てまいりました。このウランに頼るというのはもちろん一つには核兵器の原料にもなります。また原発もそうした事故を起こした時には大きな被害をもたらします。そういった点で私はウランを活用するというこの考え方はやはり将来を考えるとその道を取らない方が望ましい、あるいは取らなくても十分必要なエネルギーは他の手段で賄えると思っております。そういう意味ではオーストラリアにおいてもこのウランの採掘をさらに広げようという動きもありましたけれども、私としてはそうしたことはできるだけ抑えるべきだと。また世界の中でもウランを使ってのエネルギーを取り出すということは控えていくべきだと。特にウランを燃やしますとプルトニウムという物質ができます。でこのプルトニウムは人間と共存できる物質なのか、あるいは共存できない物質なのか、まだわずか70年程度のこの原発の稼働でありますから、まだ確実なことは分かっておりません。私はやはりプルトニウムと人類は共存することは非常に難しいと考えております。そういった点からもプルトニウムを生み出してしまうウランの活用は世界的にやめていくべきだと、このように考えております。このようなことでこのウランをめぐる国際会議の中で大いに将来のエネルギーを再生可能なエネルギーにシフトしていく、その道をぜひ皆さんの議論の中から生み出していただきたい、そのことを期待をして私からのメッセージとさせていただきます。